Well, I hate to say I told you so, but it is what it is. In a minute, I think probably either in a day or two, they're going to be announcing that Kyle Cunningham has lost the state of North Carolina. And so that is just going to prove that you're dealing with a different type of voter, and it's a very, very, very nuanced situation. People is now scribing for North Carolina. I'll just say North Carolina. Forget where everywhere else. In North Carolina, I think a lot of people voted split their ticket and voted down ballot for Republicans because of coronavirus. I don't think that people did it because of lack of progressive ideas and anything else like that. I think that here it was coronavirus. The state is kind of still split on coronavirus as far as how we should open, because our cases have always been sort of like steady and everything else like that. But in whichever case, however you lean about the coronavirus situation, I think that's what North Carolina split ticket came down to. But for the most part, like I said, the scandal was going to hurt them. Here it was going to very much hurt them with conservatives of all stripes, liberals who are liberal conservative in a sense, conservatives, African Americans. It was going to hurt him. It was, like I said, in a very tight race. It was going to. He needed every single vote. He couldn't afford to split any. I should have just wrote them dang on numbers down, but the last tally from what I seen, he's not down significant, but enough. He's not going to be able to make up those votes. So that's just kind of is what it is, man. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I mean, that was what the situation was in North Carolina. And like I said, man, it's just for anybody future out here who knows that you're just dealing with this demographic and dealing with this state for probably, I say things like that, man, and just moral failures in sense, and where just what they are. You hate to indict the man for anything, but he did it to himself. He did it to himself. You ain't got to do anything. He did it to himself. So in a state like that, I believe like moral failings and things like that, they'll be hurting you for at least another 10, 15 years. I don't see the demographic moving to the left that rapidly on where things like that still don't weigh heavy when people step into the voting booth and choose their leaders. So that is what it is. Trump won the state. But I said, in one of my videos, remember I said Trump could lose. I knew he was in a better position than most. And I said he could lose the state. I never was in belief that he was really behind Biden here. Never. Not here. So that's the way it's turning out. But the presidential election as a whole kind of went the way I did, in the way I expected. I didn't expect to drop Florida by that much, and I didn't expect for Democrats to pick up Georgia. I think for the most part, I did some random Twitter rant and stuff and Twitter predictions, but it was just election night, and I was just throwing out stuff and everything else like that. It wasn't anything serious. Like I said, that I bring to a platform where I really believed in any of them predictions. And if you ain't got my Twitter, it's I think Real Cam Rob at Real Cam Rob Twitter. You know what I'm saying? That's what me at Real Cam Rob. That's the Twitter handle. Follow me on there too, man. So yeah, but North Carolina politics, man, it comes down to those things. You still got to placate to those groups. And those are the very powerful constituencies in the state. And this state, I always say, is the opposite of what Massachusetts is. This is a conservative state, not a Republican state. This is a conservative state. It's not a Republican state. Just like they say about, Massachusetts say it's not a liberal state. It's not a Democratic state. It's a liberal state. So that's where the breakdown goes, man. And that's just where it is. And then, I'll be getting back on here, man, jumping on, because the progressives is they're doing everything I thought that they were going to end up doing after the election. They basically, they're going right in for the gusto and trying to claim election victory now. They're saying you can't get this type of win without a grassroots. Initially, it was such a piss poor win that, if you didn't have us, we would lose. And then it would say, now it's going into, we was instrumental in the parts of the country that you needed. And that basically is taking credit for the win. And that's why I think it's still a scrambled together, put together strategy. And not even a strategy that most progressives want to go with. They still want to go with, this is a shitty win. You didn't get everything you were supposed to, and everything else like that. Excuse my language. And I think that that's just where the paradigm is. It looked like it's like an initial split. I just seen something on Twitter where AOC just came out and said something along the lines, quoting Doug Jones, about how we need to be organizing and what we need to be organizing about and behind and things of that sort in our messaging. But I don't believe that I don't believe that the progressives will be able to put together a coherent message that a lot of the country would want to tackle right now. I think that there's things that they can gain some points on a stimulus bill if you can get one out, but if you can't, then again, I believe they're stalled. But it is kind of this is going to be a interesting time in the Democratic Party right now. That's all I'll say right now, because this is, for all of the cards that Democrats do hold, if you do fumble, you could have Kamala 2024, and Lord knows what I think about that. We just have elected Joe Biden. Congratulations. And I won't even think about that. But you don't want them with a super, super loud megaphone in 4 years if you have not came through with any accomplishments. And I understand why you're saying why we would run away from defund the police, and why we are taking in the nuance of banning fracking. I think if we don't get a stimulus passed, man, it's gonna be hard in 2024, and progressives are gonna make it super, super, super hard. I think least a stimulus, least that you gotta be able to, the Democrats gotta have something to tout, and it's gonna be hard. And I understand what the executive initiative was said he's gonna do. He's gonna reinstate DACA. And he's just gonna do away with all the basic Trump executive orders. So that's just the little bit of stuff that I know that's coming forth. His cabinet is looking shaky. I thought he was gonna shake it up just a little tad bit. His cabinet is looking very, very traditional. I didn't think it would look traditional as it does. You know what I'm saying? Eric Schmidt, and I was in some other names too. Like, oh. But I think that I think he's trying to just get back to the center. That's Joe Biden. Joe Biden's trying to get back to the center. He's not really trying to hang out on the left too much. If Jim Clyburn and Pelosi and Democrats in Virginia are going to give him cover to sort of move back to the center, he's going to go back there fast. And that's why I'm saying 2024 could be shaky, because if you don't produce anything broad, because you need some type of miracle wins to even, they just discount every win and amplify every loss. And so if you don't have anything, at least like the stimulus in that has came through, then they're going to call it a loss for American workers. I don't know if you get $15 minimum wage pass right now. I don't think that if it's a hill worth dying. I don't know if that might be the best hill worth dying on. I don't know. The Supreme Court is going over the ACA right now. He's going to want to defend that. So it's a lot of, like I say, it's a lot of this. Politics is about to be super interesting. It's not like right now after our party won, you still got this internal conflict and where they want to take the party, and they're rabid about it, and that's good. I don't know how Republicans do. They're still contesting the election. I don't know. I think the system is holding up pretty decent and well against them. But yeah, man. To sign off again, you got to pick better candidates here in North Carolina. They got to be conservative. They got to be good, man. You ran progressive candidate here. She got beat bad by Kyle Cunningham, and then you had your not already good candidate have a sex scandal in the middle of this and stuff. You got to be better at this stuff. You got to be better. You got to throw them through every bit of these person's history and ask everybody, man, because it costs you Senate seats. So Understanding that, man. So this is real politics, man. A different politics. A real politics. That was good. Different politics, man. Signing off, and thank you, people who subscribe to me, man. I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who watched, man, and everything, and people who commented on the page, man. I really appreciate all that love, man. So that's love to me. I don't even care if it's in the sense of being critical. I'll still take it. So that is what it is, man. Thank y'all, man. Different politics. Sign off. Subscribe, hit like buttons, do all that stuff, man. Heck yeah, because for me, it ain't about being monetized. I just want to, debate a conservative North Carolinian African American perspective in a real sphere and bring it, because it gets lost and mumble jumbled up, and then we got to debate it on Twitter, and we really should have a voice, like, who really debates it and bring, because this is like, I'm not saying I would speak for everybody, but I'm just saying it's a perspective that I feel can be brought to the stage. But anyway, man, like, subscribe buttons. Thank y'all, brothers, sisters, everybody. Thank you.